Hey everyone, it's Brian here. Today I'm coming on with part 1 of the Bright and Prosperous 2021 collab hosted by Young's Paper Creations, Nelda's Crafts, and Raru Crafts. And what we're doing is we're just going to bring a bunch of inspiration to y'all for this year to start your year off right. And this is my first project for this collab. Everybody's links will be listed below in the description box of this video. But we're making this here little 3.5 by 5 inch notepad holder like you get at the Dollar Tree, 5 for $1. So what we're going to do is, let's see, we're going to start out by showing you what we got here. You need a 1 inch by 6 inch piece that is a spine for the cover. And you're going to need 2 pieces that are 4.5 inches by 6 inches. Those are for the front and the back. And this is going to be the front of the cover. That's going to be 7 inches by 12 inches. And you're going to need a piece of 5.5 by 9.75 inch cardstock to go on the inside to cover it. So let's see, first of all we're going to pull out the scoreboard, and we are going to go ahead and make sure we got the right side first, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. Now as I was doing this project I realized I don't need to do it on the far right side because that's just going to be cut off eventually. So we'll get to that point soon. So I've scored 1/2 inch on the left side and the bottom so far. Now I'm going to score 1/2 inch on the top. And like I just said, you don't need to do the score line 1/2 inch on that right side. I just did that, wasn't thinking at the moment. So what we're going to do is make sure we still got on the correct side. And you can use some tape for this, but I just basically speed up time. I actually just went ahead and used mostly just glue. But you need to tape down, glue down, whatever you need to do, whatever you feel like doing. The pieces. And this is the gonna be the front piece of chipboard, and I'm gonna put it down right up against the score lines that I just made. Then I'm gonna burnish it down real well, and you can do this out of a piece of 8.5 by 11 chipboard or 12 by 12 chipboard. Either way, you're gonna get the job done with half of a 12 by 12, but or a little more than half of an 8.5 by 11. But next I'm going to go ahead and glue down the spine piece. Going to make sure that we have this down about 1/8 of an inch or so away from the front cover. We're going to burnish that down. And then we just want to make sure it's in the right place. And now we're going to put the back piece on. This part's going to be the back of the cover. This will be the part where we're going to put the pad eventually. And once again, just make sure you got it about 1/8 of an inch away from the spine piece. I have a little more than 1/8 of an inch, it looks like, but it'll be alright. So we're going to burnish that down real well. And now what we're going to do is right about where I scored that 1/2 inch line, we're just going to cut that off. Going to cut that off because we don't really need that. Although you don't have to really cut it off if you don't want to. You can just rescore at the edge there of the chipboard and go ahead and fold it over if you wanted to. Okay, so next what we're going to do is, I believe we're going to next cut some slits where the spine piece is. Well, first we're actually going to go ahead and cut the miter. Gonna miter the corners, and we're also going to go ahead and glue those corners down right where they were, basically, except it's going to be on the chipboard. So just in case you don't quite get it just right, that way you can go ahead and have something there so you won't be seeing just chipboard. So I'm going to do that for all 4 corners. As you can see, I'm doing it for the 3rd corner now. Like I said, doing all 4 corners the same way. And then you can go ahead and do that last one. Glue it down. Put it in place. And now we're just going to fold over real quick. And, well, I guess I didn't do that. What we're going to do now is we're going to cut a slit at either end of the spine piece on the outside. And we're going to fold those over. So that will get a little bit of the bulk off of the spine, so it won't have so much pressure on it when you're opening and closing it. So we don't want all these wrinkles and bubbles and lines and everything going on here, but it turns out it did eventually, somewhat. And now we're just going to go ahead and glue down and burnish the rest of the pieces. Now, I think this made it a lot easier doing the spine pieces the way I did. Just slitting and then going ahead and covering, putting it over. So I'm going to do that for the other side now. Burnish down. And same thing on the opposite side. And now we're going to do the 2 smaller sides. And my advice is to do the longer sides first. That way you can, get that out of the way. As you can see, the miter didn't go perfectly on that top left corner. But that's why I put the little wedges that I cut off for the miter corners. That's why I put those. Glued them down on the corners. As you can see, you would just be seeing chipboard if we didn't do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put glue on the spine part in an effort to try to keep down on the wrinkling and the bunching up of the paper. If you were to use a bunch of glue, or really any glue, on that part, like I said before, it's going to turn out to do that anyways, but it's not going to do it as bad when you just put the tape on the spine, and just to the left and just to the right of the spine as well. And as you can see, I am foolishly taking off the tape, I guess you could say, before thinking about putting it down in segments. So now this is where the piece of the 5.5 by 9 3/4 comes in. I'm just going to put some glue on there. Actually on both sides. I guess you can tell I'm doing voiceovers here. Not used to it. I'm going to put it down Make sure everything's even. Make sure all 4 sides look good, and burnish it down. And make sure to get all the glue that oozes out as well. Wipe that off if you have any. So you see there's the front and the back now. The outside and the inside. And what I'm going to do is, apparently I'm going to get some of those places where the paper had bunched up some. And I'm sorry about the camera now, but as you can see, I'm getting the bone folder and I'm going ahead and folding down just a little bit at a time and burnishing some more. I'm doing this so little by little so the cardstock won't rip or tear. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start making the piece that is for the inside. I would hold the notepad, and this piece is going to be cut at 5 inches by 4.5 inches. And there's going to be a little trick to this too. Please note that I'm not going to score it 1/2 inch on 3 sides like you would normally do, because the notepad is 5 inches by 3.5 inches. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to score on the 4.5 inch side, score at 3/8, and then again at 3/8 away from the right side. So basically we're scoring at 3/8 and 4 1/8, and then we're scoring on the 5 inch side at the bottom at 1/2 inch. And we're just going to cut those corners off, miter them. We're just going to dispose of those pieces. We don't need to glue those down to anywhere. Now we're going to fold. And you could put tape on this if you wanted to, but I'm just doing this with just glue to speed up the process. So we start with that bottom piece where you scored at 1/2 inch. And what you want to do is even it up to where it's even on the left and right sides, and even with the bottom. As you can see, I got just about right on all 3 sides. I burnished it down, and then now I'm going to go ahead and glue the other 2 sides and set those down and burnish them as well. But try and make sure not to put too much glue on these parts, because what happens is if you do that, it's going to ooze out, and basically this will be useless. So there we go. Notepad holder fits in perfectly. That's why I put score at 3/8 inch and 4 1/8 inch on that 4.5 inch side, so it'll have a little room, for little wiggle room for the thing. Thanks for watching.